Say you book an easy trip on Amazon Relay where you're supposed to take a loaded trailer from A to B and then return an empty trailer from B to A. But you get to spot B and there's no empties and they instruct you to bobtail back to point A in order to end the load. Did you know you don't have to bobtail back and can end the entire load while you're still at spot B? Let's get after it. So as you can see, I've been instructed to bobtail back to the last location to end this load. There's really 3 steps you need to do in order to end the load now. First thing I want to do is select on Report Arrival Issue. That's going to bring up this window. The next thing I want to select is App Not Detecting Arrival. And then the last step is asking, are you in the yard? I'm going to circle back to this in a moment, but for the purpose of this video, you want to select yes, and then you can see it brings up the QR code and the load is now ended. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, aren't I being deceptive by, with the question, are you at the yard or are you at a facility? I'm checking yes, but clearly I'm not. I mean, doesn't this feel like there could be like a performance decline or some sort of financial clawback that Amazon would do? Here's the thing on that. This was taught to me by an ROC agent. If you've spent any time calling ROC, you know there's different types of agents. Some are very, very helpful. Some are not. And, I just so happened to get one day who told me, I was in the same situation, bobtailing back, and they told me, this is how you can end these loads. So if it weren't taught to me by an ROC agent, would I be putting this out on the internet? I would not. But, it's one of those things I believe in, kind of like, a level playing field. And I'm one of those guys when I first started for Amazon and I'd be up in LA or Ontario, supposed to bring an empty trailer back to San Diego, and it told me to bobtail. I would bobtail. That's why when I discovered this, it's like, wait a minute. I mean, this is a huge time/fuel/money saver to be able to start looking for that new load where you're at and not have to bobtail back just to end the load. And why make this into longer content than it needs to be? I've made the same information available to you in YouTube Shorts where I've gotten the same information out in 60 seconds or less. The reason I kind of wanted to make it long format was because I wanted to address some common comments I get on this. First of all being, number 1 comment, does not work. Now, I've responded back to 100% of people who have said it doesn't work, and the majority of the time I hear nothing back, just crickets on their end. Say, what didn't work about it? Now, the ones that do respond to me will say, it sounds like they're getting kind of creative with this. They'll say like, oh, I was running late the other day and I didn't want to be marked late, so I did the remote check-in. It's not what this is made for. It's made for this specific example of you're saving the trip back from the second to the last location because you've been instructed to bobtail there. It's not meant to cheat the system and get you checked in sooner. And then the other thing I hear from people is they start putting limits on it, like, oh yeah, it works, but it only works within 50 miles, or it doesn't work if you're next to an airport. I can only share my experience with it, which has been, I've used it as close as 9 miles, DIB 5 to SAN 5, and I've used it as far away as 127 miles from Chino to Otay. Both times, didn't have a trailer, instructed to bobtail back, worked just fine. Next to an airport, worked just fine for me. So, as long as you kind of stick with the process and don't get too creative with it, it should help you in the same way it has helped me. I hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.